thankful for our three speakers who started to take us from the journey of the first one we had, which was really project management. And then we moved from there to product management, and we have capped it up with data analytics. We're very thankful for the opportunity to hold this event. On the call today, I have our president, Angela Mignon-Smith, and we also have other members of our board. So we have Mr. Abimbola Olujide here as well. I'm not sure if those are the only two board members that are able to join. I believe weekly we get more than two of our board members joining. We're very thankful for the opportunity to help advance people's careers through what we do, which is really empowering through STEM education. We hope that everyone on here have had an amazing 3 weeks. Even if you missed the beginning, you have had an amazing 3 weeks learning from our teacher who are taking us on a journey from SQL. And today we're capping that up with Power BI. Before I go on and talk about StemUp Foundation, I think the first thing that has to happen today, we are hoping to get favor from all of you, which means we're looking to you to help us fill out our survey. And we're looking to you to help us start with testimonial. Sab, can we share the testimonials in there? If you have been a participant for at least 2 to 3 weeks, we hope that over this 2 to 3 weeks period, you've learned a thing or two that you can take and add to your career. And we are looking for feedback from you. So we are looking for testimonials to share with our funders. And Sab, can you share the testimonials link in the comment? And we are trying to do this morning before we have the last class, because we realize that over time the number of people drops. So we want to kind of get your feedback. We want to get the testimonial. No, we need the testimonial sheet. That's what we need first. We're looking to you to help us fill this out while we will talk for a bit, right? For maybe if Angela is going to talk, I'm going to talk. That's going to take 5 to 10 minutes. So during this time when you're looking to us talk, we want to ask if you could please find it in your heart to really help us fill out the testimonial that has been shared in the comment section. Is the latest document that was placed in there. Could you please help us put some comments in there in terms of how are you going to apply this knowledge to your career? As this 3 weeks, or if you participated in any of the 2 other master classes, has this helped you in any way? While we're looking for this information, some people paid for this program, and we want to make sure that we can share some of these comments with our funders for them to understand the impact of their money, that the money that they provided us, which serve as what we are using as honorarium to the teachers, that is actually gone a long way. So please find it in your, we want you to kind of click on that link if you can, and start filling it out. Sab, it would be great if you can be tracking the sheet so that we can know how many testimonials we've gotten this morning. We have also sent out a survey. So if you're receiving emails from us, you probably have gotten the testimonial sheet and survey sheet previously. The only thing we ask is that you help us fill this out. As you know, this program is free, but if we don't know whether it touched your life, whether it affects you positively, there is no way we would feel like doing another one. There is no way we would understand what else can we bring to the table for you that you would benefit from, so that we can have the right teachers lined up for it. So it's critical that you also help us fill out the survey, give us your voice, let us know how this is going to affect you, and whether you have suggestions for other master classes that we can try to find teachers for. Yes, please help us fill out the survey and the form. Okay, so StemUp Foundation is the host of this event, and I'd like to kind of share with you about StemUp Foundation a bit, so you kind of have an understanding of what the organization does and will continue to do after this point. And maybe you have an opportunity to join us, volunteer with us, so that we continue to support our community. As Sab said, he said we have a global audience today, which is exciting for us. Why do we think a global audience is very critical? Industry 4.0 is taking over our world by storm, which means we have better connectivity. We have access to connecting to people in a faster, more efficient, and easier way. we are utilizing and leveraging Industry 4.0 technologies to spread our wings beyond Canada, to be able to reach more people. So we are happy to be able to share what could have been shared with 20 people from Ontario, Canada, with people around the world. We can spread that knowledge with digitization without having to pay any huge price today. So welcome from wherever you are joining us from. And this is StemUp Foundation, and I'd like to do a little bit of intro. StemUp Foundation is a charity organization located in Ontario, Canada, and I want to run through why we do what we do as an organization. And StemUp Foundation started as an idea of, was wondering what is happening in our community. Why do we have a lot of other white people in tech? But when we're talking to minorities, when we're talking to immigrants, we saw very little amount of us graduating from universities and really staying in those STEM-related jobs. Why do we want to fight for more immigrants, more minorities, more people of color, and more of people who are minorities to get into STEM? These are some of the reasons. The first one is we realized that in the next 10 years, the amount of growth that would happen to STEM jobs is tremendous. It's almost double of the amount of growth that would happen to non-STEM jobs. If we'll have abundance of job in this area, definitely we want to get the people who look like us, the people who actually needs it, to get this education. Because if we're looking for economic power for people of color, for immigrants, for Aboriginal communities, then we have to be able to position them in the right job. So we feel like with what we do, we can increase the number of people who get into college to study STEM courses and get through college, get a degree, and really be able to sustain the growth in the industry. The second reason why we want to continue to do this is that in 2018 alone, Canada's 10 most in-demand jobs require STEM degrees. So a lot of the jobs that are erupting because of digitization requires that you know how to code, require that you have knowledge of mathematics, require some knowledge of science. And we realize that this trend is only going to go up with Industry 4.0. There will be more in-demand jobs created constantly focusing on STEM degrees. So we want to make sure that people are not pivoting away from this career, but really finding it interesting and staying grounded in there, because that's where we feel like access to economic power will continue to build. The third one is, as a minority-focused organization who is concerned about the number of people in jobs that are relevant, especially for jobs that are moving up, we realized that in the last 30 years, Canada has only experienced 2% increase in the number of women in STEM careers. 30 years, and it took us to move from 20 to 22% of women. Can you look at the percentage? 20 to 22%, that is low compared to the number of males who are working in STEM careers. If we're talking about equality, if we're talking about equity, it will not happen if we don't encourage a girl child to study STEM, empower them, ensure that they can stand tall with their counterparts without fidgeting or anything. We cannot take this number, we cannot allow another 30 years before we move from 22 to 24. So somebody has to do something. And if somebody has to do that, who else is more deserving to do something if not us? We cannot keep waiting for the men to save women. We cannot keep waiting for the government to increase the numbers. So we felt like as citizens, as people especially who are also women, who understand that the less number of women we have in these workplaces, the more harassment will go and be under the carpet. The less amount of women we have in leadership, the less people will talk about childbirth in workplace. The less people will talk about issues that women go through in workplace. So we feel like let's have more women in STEM careers and let's push more women to leadership. And who is going to do that? Us. And we believe that these are some of the three aims. I'm not looking at other areas here, right? There are other issues happening in our community. If we want to look at statistics of the Aboriginal people, there is so less amount of the Aboriginal people who are in STEM careers. When we want to look at the number of Black people, there is so less of Black people who are in this career. When we want to look about at the number of Asians, we see that, yes, they let us get to a certain place in our career, but they don't let us go up there. So we are thinking that, yeah, we have to do something about this. And that is how we started StemUp Foundation. And okay. Yeah. Who are we as an organization? We are based in Ontario, Canada. We are a charity organization. We were founded in 2017. Our aim is to increase accessibility to practical and quality STEM programs that may be hard to access by underserved and low-income communities within Ontario. We believe that science, technology, engineering, and math exposure and increased scientific and technology literacy will equip Canadian youth to confidently pursue STEM careers and really not only pursue the career, to sustain them staying in that career. We have 4 objectives or 4 focus areas that we work on as an organization. The first one is advancing education by providing free hands-on team-based workshops to students who are in grade 2 to 12. And we focus on students from underserved and low-income communities in Ontario, Canada. So if you have kids and you think they're probably interested in STEM, you have kids age maybe 8 or 7 to like 15 or 16, we are organizing regular boot camps. We are organizing regular workshops, regular programs for these young people. We've been doing that across Ontario, but because of COVID-19, we migrated that program online. And we're still continuing to ensure that young people are having this hands-on, mind-on activities for them to understand that science is not that complex. Science is practical. Science is something that they can feel, and science is happening around them every moment when they move around, for them to be able to identify those easily. The second area we focus on is creating Industry 4.0 webinars, trainings, such as the one you are having right now. Our aim here is to make sure that we align with the national economic needs and really help create professionals that will fit into the Canadian workforce effectively. The third objective of StemUp Foundation is advancing education by providing scholarships based on academic achievement to college and university students. And we focus on students who have high achievement, but are from communities where paying for their tuition could pose a problem. This year, we are thrilled to have partnered with Femex, a tech company, a data room located downtown Toronto, to bring to our people 2 scholarships. So if you're in college, you happen to join this program, please watch out. In the next 1 week or 2, we will be advertising not just 2 scholarships, but 4 scholarships for people who are going back to school in Canada in September. Our aim is to make sure we are supporting, not just by providing skills, but by providing monetary opportunities to ensure that their education as they go back to school is smooth, is easier, and they're worrying less about the financial implication of their education on their family. Then the last thing we do is a one-to-one mentoring program where we match mentors to mentees. So we look for, depending on where you are in your career, we can find you a mentor, whether you think you are in a managerial position. Like myself, I'm a director at a tech company, and I have a mentor who is a CEO thanks to this program. Wherever you are within your career, whether you're just getting started as a 3rd year, 4th year university student, we can find you a mentor who has been in the industry for 3 years or so. Or if you're working already, you've been working for 3 years, we can find you someone like Angela who has over 10 years of experience to mentor you. Or if you're like me, who is already in a leadership role, we can find even higher leaders to mentor you. The aim here is to make sure that you don't work alone, that in every stage of your career, we find you the right mentors to continue to support you as you make decisions, and so that we can have that track where we all get to advance in a way that is logical, having the right sponsor, having the right mentors who help guide us through all of the processes. So at STEMHub, we focus on 4 programs that each of them are tied to our objectives. Our STEM Scholar program is the one that focuses on the scholarship admission that we offer to people. We also share scholarship opportunities that we find around the world on our pages, and that focus is on the STEM Scholar area. We have the STEMing, which focus on young people learning about STEM activities. So they do the hands-on making of Play-Doh, creating a new robot, coding, graphic design. The young people get to go through this. We have list of teachers from universities to professionals working in the industry.
I'm not sure if it's me or, but Dr. Eddie, I think you might be frozen right now. No, you're muted, Dr. Eddie. Yeah.
He's on mute. Adiola is on mute. Yeah.
Something just kind of caught me off. All right. So I think I've explained the program, and I'm skipping through this because of time. And I want to talk about our team a little bit. So at StemUp Foundation is a volunteer-led organization. We all have jobs. We have full-time jobs that we do, but we want to give back to our community. So a group of people just trying to do something for their community voluntarily. We have different departments and different teams that we have built over the years. The STEMing facilitators are the ones who organize and do the STEMing program for the youths. And the STEM social people are the ones who continue to publish what is going on our social media. And then the STEM curricular team work with the facilitators to make sure that everything we teach the kids are documented in a very logical way as curriculums. Then the IT department works to make sure our website is working properly. We have a STEMing program team, which is the team that put this masterclass together. They also work with the STEMing team to put together programs for them. And then the communication team are the ones that make sure that everything that you're seeing on our pages, whether through emails, whether through our social media, is communicated, really meeting our focus, our vision, and then our objectives. The STEM grants team is being led by Angela. They're the ones looking for money for us. And then the STEM finance, make sure that all the grants we get, everything we spend is accounted for. At the moment, we are building two departments. We're building the HR department, and we are building the governance, compliance, and legal department. If you're on this call today, you're wondering, how can I join STEMHub? Am I welcome to STEMHub? You are welcome if you want to volunteer with us. We're looking for volunteers, whether among the team that is shown on the screen here, or the two teams that I just mentioned, regardless of your race, regardless of your gender, regardless of even where you live right now, we would like to get your help to continue to help build our community. If we do not build our community, nobody's going to build it for us. Nobody can tell us stories like us. Nobody can be the right role models for our youth like us. So we need more volunteers. We need more people to join our team so that we can continue to run these programs. We can continue to strengthen this organization to do more. Imagine a group of people just doing something great for their community. If there's something I've been proud of, if you know me, you know I'm very proud to be a 3D printing engineer, but I am proud to be a part of STEMHub, just looking at the impact that we are having and touching lives, touching careers of people around the world. You can be a part of that team as well. I want to talk a bit about social media. We have this type of program running, and we're hoping to continue to run this program yearly or every 3 months or every 4 months. Please stay connected with us on social media. On Facebook, we are at StemUp Foundation. On Twitter, we are at StemUp_. On Instagram, we are at StemUp Foundation. And on LinkedIn, we are at StemUp Foundation. We want you to stay connected to us so you know when we're posting scholarships, you know when we're posting opportunities for young people, you know when we're posting the next master classes that will be coming up. Please stay connected to us so you know what we are working on. If you're interested in any of the things I've talked about, you feel like your skills can be used in HR, in legal, or you feel like you are a GRC, government risk and compliance person, or you feel like any of those departments, you know how to create a website, you know how to do communication, you have skills you love taking care of kids, you want to like kind of create curriculums for them, feel free to email us. Email us at info@stemupfoundation.com. We'll be happy to hear from you and help connect you to the right team and get you to start to make impact in our communities. Thank you for your time. This is the end of my presentation, and I would like to invite Angela Mignon, who is our president, to give a word or two before we hand over to Mariam. Again, before I go, if you are just stepping in, we are filling out the surveys, and we are filling out also the testimonials as right now. Can we reshare? Can we reshare the survey and the testimonials? This is the only thing we ask of you. Please help us fill out the survey. We are collecting it right now. Sab, how many people have filled the survey? And how many people have filled the testimonial specifically?
So we have 15 people who filled in the testimonial and about 24-ish. Yeah, 55 on three. Yep. And I just reshared the links again.
Yeah, please help us fill out the testimonials. We need the testimonials to be able to feed this back internally first to our board so that it can know the impact of the work that has been done over the 9 weeks. We also would like to feed this back to our funders so that they kind of know how their money was spent. So please, for God's sake, help us fill it out as you're listening to Angela. Help us fill out both of them. We need this information for us to be able to do this again. Please help us fill it out. And we want to hear from you. If you're filling out the test, especially the testimonials or the surveys, if you have ideas of other things you would like us to teach that you think this is going to help your career, this is the opportunity to get your voice registered in a way where we can collate it and really analyze it to decide what will be the next set of TechMaster classes that we will be hosting. Angela, you can get started when you're ready.
Hi, everyone. As you heard, my name is Angela Mignon-Smith. I'm the board president for STEMHub, and I have a mechanical engineering degree from Western University. I also hold a graduate level diploma in nuclear technology from TechMaster. And it was kind of haphazard how I got into engineering, but I'm grateful that I did because this career has taken me across the globe. I've had the opportunity to work in Korea, in Northern Ontario, and the maritime province of New Brunswick throughout my career. And more recently, I've traveled to Bruce Power site all through my job. I worked in inspection and maintenance, and I have a background now. I'm not sure if I can call myself an expert yet, probably I can, but my background is in ultrasonic material inspection. So my work is very rewarding and very interesting, and I really, truly get the opportunity to learn something new every single day. And because we've built reactors around the globe, I get to work with an amazing group of diverse and talented people. And I actually see a few Black faces when I go into work, which I actually appreciate. So how did I get into this industry, and then how did I get into STEMHub? I started off as a science student. I didn't really know what my path would be, but thankfully I had a group of friends who was in engineering, and they encouraged me to switch from science into engineering. And in my second year in engineering, I came across one of my profs in the engineering building. And would you believe that the prof had the audacity to ask me if I was pregnant? And I didn't even know how to respond. But I'm sharing that story with you to say that even in this journey in STEM, you may encounter ignorance from people, but I never let that deter me from pursuing my degree. In fact, I took the man's course in 4th year called Energy Conversion. And it was in that class that I learned about my company. We're known as SNC Lavalin now, but back then we were called Atomic Energy of Canada. And it was in his class that I got an A, and I decided to apply to Atomic Energy of Canada. And after graduating, I got the job at Atomic Energy of Canada, and I have been with the company since. And in my time working there, I began to realize that workforces with a STEM background are not diverse when it comes to minorities, when it comes to women, especially women. It took me some time to actually see that. Meeting people like Adiola helped me see that and why I need to get involved in promoting STEM, actually. So she encouraged me to volunteer with STEMHub, and it's been really an amazing experience. It has helped me develop leadership skills. It's helped me to think really how important mentorship is. And since all of these diversity and inclusion initiatives have sprung up, even within my own organization, we now have a diversity initiative to advance women within the field or within our organization. And I too have a mentor. My VP recommended that I get a mentor. She's a woman of color, she's an engineer, and she really is amazing. She's a director in our nuclear refurbishment projects. So it's really been rewarding to give back to STEMHub. And I encourage each and every one of you to consider volunteering with us. And, you know, one last thing I want to say is I read a lot of articles on LinkedIn. And there was an article that I found that said that the CEO of Wells Fargo said, you know, it's really unfortunate that we can't find Black people or people of color to advance in our ranks. We just can't find it. And the comment rubbed me the wrong way because it rubbed me the wrong way then, but I see the work that we're doing with STEMHub and I see how organizations want to partner with us and provide mentorship opportunities. They're going out, coming to us and offering this mentorship and guidance when somebody like that at the same level is seeing things from a narrow perspective. Why don't they come out and partner with the Black-led organizations to actually get off the soapbox and come and find us, because we are here and we are ready to lead. We are ready to join these corporate boards, make the big salaries, be influencers. We are ready. So there really is no excuse, really. There really is no excuse when it comes to Black talent. We all can do it. We don't all have to be the A++ students. It's a matter of getting out and trying, getting into it, and putting your best foot forward, finding that excellence within yourself, and for sure you can definitely do it. So I just want to say thank you again for Adiola to invite me here to speak, and I'm really encouraged by these master classes. I like to learn. I like to learn about anything data and numbers related. I've been on the last 2 classes myself. I made sure to come here and gain some skills, and I encourage each and every one of you to, again, consider volunteering with us and giving back as well, because we'll gain so much more. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Angela, for that. And I would like to introduce our speaker today to us. I hope you're still filling the survey. If you haven't, please fill the surveys for us and help us fill the testimonial sheet. I'd like to introduce our speaker today, and she's been doing a phenomenal job. So we're very thankful that Mariam accepted our invitation to lead these classes. Mariam is a business analyst and the founder of Techavilly, an education technology company established in the US. She holds years of experience in sales, marketing, product management, finance, and data analytics, and has worked in reputable FMCG or companies like Nestle Nigeria PLC. Mariam has trained over 2,500 students in Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, Tableau, Power BI, SQL, and R. She holds a master's degree in business analytics from Texas A&M University. Please join me to welcome Mariam, our teacher for today. Thank you. Mariam, we're ready. Mariam, are you here?
Sorry, I was muted. Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Adi, for this opportunity. I'm not taking it for granted. And thank you, everyone, for joining. It's been an amazing journey. I mean, the last 3 weeks has been really overwhelming, and I really appreciate that. And thank you, everyone, for joining. So we're going to be going into Power BI today, and I will share my screen.
So we'd like to know where you're joining from before we get in. So let us know in the comment section where you're located and where you're joining from. And I feel like we'd like to at least know where our audience is from. I see a lot of different faces. So please let us know where you're joining from as you listen to the class.
Okay. All right. So we will be going into Power BI today, and then this is going to be the agenda for today. We're going to be talking about business intelligence and what it is. And we'll look at Power BI, the features of Power BI, and how to connect to data source. And we look at the difference between Power BI and Tableau. We look at the DAX function, data modeling, and we will create charts and graphs. And then we build a dashboard at the end of today. It's going to be a very short class, so I'll try to cover as much as I can. So what exactly is business intelligence? It is a set of processes that help you analyze raw data and generate meaningful information that helps you make business decisions. So there are several tools that you can use to analyze the data visually, but the most common ones are Tableau and Power BI. But I am going to be talking about Power BI today, and probably Tableau in the nearest future. So what is Power BI? Power BI is a business analytics application provided by Microsoft that lets you visualize the data and share insight. So it converts data from different sources and allow you to create interactive dashboard. I mean, that is the key point here. After you have raw data, a set of data, large data set, and you cannot view all of them. It's a lot of work to clean up data, to manipulate data, and then visualize. So that is what Power BI is going to be doing for you. And I will be taking you through that process today. So, like I said, this is a raw data. I mean, this is just a frame. This is a part of the data. It's a lot more than this. And I believe we have downloaded the software. We sent the link. And I also believe that we have the data source. We also sent it during the week. So we are going to be using the same data source to analyze data today. And this is what you get with Power BI, really. After seeing this kind of raw data, numbers, just numbers. And then you use Power BI to turn it into beautiful looking dashboard like this. We are going to be doing something similar today. So what are the features of Power BI? Power BI has several features, and then we are going to be talking about just 5 of them today. We will look at data connection. We will look at data relationships, and then Power Query, Power Pivot access. We might not be able to talk about this because you need a pro access to be able to do this. And we're not using Pro today. We're just using the free version, which we all downloaded. And then the custom visualization, and then report and share. So this is how the interface looks like. When you go to, Power BI interface, you must have downloaded. And before you import your data, this is just what you're going to see right here. And then let's talk about data connection. Microsoft has developed data source connections with a huge list of sources like Azure, SQL, Excel, CSV, and you can even import PDF into Power BI and turn it into a beautiful looking dashboard. And then we'll be looking at that today. So this is how you get your data. You use the data connection to get your data, and you can see these are all the various options you have to import your data, your raw data, into Power BI. But for the benefit of today's training, we're just going to be looking at Excel to import data. So what the relationships, this helps you define relationship between multiple tables based on at least one matching column from any of the tables. So if you attended the SQL training, we talked about relationships, and I mentioned that it's not a relationship between a man and a woman, but we're talking about relationships between tables. So, and this is how it looks like. You know, it's not too different from what we did during SQL. And as you can see, this table, this is a, I'm going to show you how this works when we get into the software. So we have the 3 tabs. This is the view, and this is the table, and this is where the data modeling is, the relationship. If you look at these 3 tables right here, you can see that 2 of them have relationships, and there's no relationship with this, and that is why you're not seeing any highlighted value or line or arrow. So from city table and managers table, you can see the city name is also present in managers table. That is why you see the relationship. So what this is going to do is going to pull every information that recognizes the matching column. So that is the work of relationships, and it's applicable in Power BI just the way it is in SQL. Okay, am I too fast? All right, I'll slow it down a little bit. Okay, so then we talked about the Power Query and Power Pivot access. Power Query allows users to edit data to meet their needs. If you have a set of data, the original data, you can add more data to it using calculated fields. Like you have a sales, you have the profit. You can look at you can create a new column that of profit margin that was not originally in the data, and that's what Power Query allows you to do. You can create a new data set and expand the data that you brought in. So that is one of the advantages of Tableau and Power BI. You can generate new set of data using calculated fields in your software, and you can expand whatever data you have brought in originally. So this is where you see that, right? You can use the edit Power Query to do your calculated field and all of that. But with the free access, you can still edit, you can still bring in more data, but you can get more functions with Power Query when you have the Pro version. So custom visualization. So this is where you're going to be doing all your building all your graphs and charts, and these are the types of charts and graphs available. You can also import, but Power BI gives you access to this beautiful looking charts. You will see how this will show up when we finally start building the charts. Like I said, Power BI is a very good tool for visualizing your raw data. It's just it's a simple drag and drop tool that you use to create reports and share with stakeholders. Right. So you can also share that. I've talked about that. You can share your report. So data modeling, I talked about this when I was talking about the relationship. Data modeling is used to connect multiple sources of data to build relationship. That's simply what it does, right? Then the DAX function. This is one very good feature of Tableau. Sorry, I'm mixing it, of Power BI, because it allows you to create more data. Just like I said, you build formulas, calculations, and this is what you are going to use. I'm going to tell you the different types of functions in the next slide. So it allows you to create new calculated columns and measures. So types of DAX function. We have the date and the time. This allows you to create date and time using functions like the date difference, hour, week, weekend, month, time, and so on. You can break down the original data. That's one beautiful thing about this. You can break down the data that you brought in. You know, you have the original raw data, and then you can use this Power BI to add more functions, add more columns by using DAX functions with it. You can bring in different levels, parameters to create what you want based on what your boss or what you're looking at. Right. We have the logical function. This allows you to create and add new filters to your data. And then the text functions allows you to transform the data into lowercase, uppercase, increase the length, or concatenate. And then the statistical function. This allows you to carry out some basic statistical calculations using average, the count, the median, the standard deviation, and so on, all in this software. So we're going to look at the difference between Power BI and Tableau. Like I said, these two are the most popular and the most used in the industry today. But a lot of people ask questions like, okay, why do I need to use Power BI? Why do I need to use Tableau? What is the difference? And blah, blah, blah. Well, they both perform the same function, so to speak, but there are tiny little differences between them, which I'm going to show you. Like Power BI has limited access to numerous databases and servers, while Tableau has access to a wider range of databases and servers. And this is one key reason why big companies use Tableau a lot. Power BI is integrated in Azure, of course, because Microsoft is the owner of Azure, so it has to integrate with Azure, while Tableau is integrated with Python. And Power BI can handle limited volume of data, like 10 gigabytes or so, while Tableau can handle a huge volume of data, billions of data, and then you still get better performance, and it's very fast. Sometimes Power BI could be slower, but Tableau is huge and it's very fast, no matter what kind of data you are bringing into the software. It is built that way. And Power BI is cheaper, and it is best used for smaller businesses, like I said. And you can, for your pro version, you can pay as low as $10 per month. While for Tableau is a bit more expensive, and it's not suitable for smaller businesses because you pay more because of the functionality and then the speed and a lot of things integrated in it. And for a pro version of Tableau, you'll be spending as much as $75 per month. So that's why it's really not good for smaller companies. And except you're ready to spend the money to get the value, you can go for Tableau. So at the end of this class, this is what we're going to be creating. We will start from scratch and build this dashboard. And that is why we are having this class today. So thank you for listening, and let's go into the software. I'm going to be sharing my screen, and I will unshare this and share my screen to go into Tableau, Power BI, sorry.
I have a question, Mariam.
Okay.
So I downloaded the Power BI app, but then when I want to open it, or the software, sorry, when I want to open it, it says something went wrong. AS process PID was 25968 has exited with exit code. So I don't know if you know what the solution would be for this.
Can you try to uninstall that? Maybe it could be the capacity of your computer. Uninstall that and try the second one. In that video, there were two versions.
Okay. Yeah.
Try that lower version if that will work for you.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. So this is what you get when you download. I believe everybody has downloaded and we're ready. This is what you get, and this is how Power BI interface looks like. This is exactly what you see.
That people have.
Okay.
And they can run it. Is there any issue? Can we get a yes if you have downloaded and ready?
And if they want, I can share my screen and go through that video. I might not be able to uninstall what I install because it takes time to install, but I can play the video again, let them look at it from the start to finish, about 4 minutes, if it's fine.
Somebody said they need a link to download it.
Okay, I guess it was shared. Let me see if I can share in the comment section again.
Thank you.
All right.
We may not be able to wait for you if you didn't download. Well, we want to know, it looks like a lot of people have. We want to know whether we have a lot of people who would not be able to continue, so we don't leave you behind like that. I also want to mention that in our previous sessions of TechMaster class, we, TY and Mariam taught Tableau in the past. So if you're interested in Tableau, you could go to our YouTube channel and you would find this video on our YouTube channel. So if you're interested in Tableau, it's already there on the YouTube channel for you to watch, or you could go to Techavilly. I think there are some good resources there.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Adi. So I'm going to go ahead and start picking our data. So the first thing we're going to do, okay, before we do that, let me take us through this interface. So right here, this is the canvas. You see, add data to your report. This is where all the reports is going to be showing. We're going to be bringing tiles. We call the graphs tiles. We're going to be bringing them into the canvas. And when you're done, you can export your report. So right here, you have the file where if you want to share or import your data, you can use this. And then you have the home. This is where we are. And here you see, this is the data right here. And then you're going to be seeing the table. We don't have any data. That's why you're not seeing anything. As soon as we bring in our data, you will see that. And this is where the relationships will be. I mentioned that before. If we have 1 or 2 tables or 3, and then there's relationship, it's going to pick that and connect them so you can see and read the information in the dashboard. And you can get your data from here. If you click on this one now to get your data, like so, and you're going to see the different options to pick data from. You can pick from Excel, from text, CSV, and this looks like this is the activated because we're picking from Excel. If you see anyone grayed out, that means we cannot use it. And you can pick PDF. You can also pick PowerPoint, and then a lot of them, SQL Server database, and all of these you can pick data from IBM, DB2 database. IBM uses DB2, while we have SQL Server, MySQL, Oracle database, IBM uses DB2. They are all database, so they just call them different names. So these are all the different sources you can pick your data from and bring them into Power BI. And then we will be coming back to pick our data from here later. Let me just walk you through this interface. And then these are all sources to import your data. If you want to transform your data, I talked about manipulating your data, changing your data. If you bring in a raw set of data and you want to add something or you want to change something, maybe the first name of somebody was wrongly spelled or a number was incorrect and you have the correct, you can transform your data from here before bringing it to analyze. And okay, so visual, you can add visuals to it and all that, more visuals. And right here on this pane, you have the visualization. And these are all the beautiful graphs that we will be using. These are all nice looking graphs, and then you can import more from whatever source you want to bring in from. And then we have the values. When we import our data to start analyzing, you're going to see the values here, and we'll be imputing all the values to build the dashboard. And here is the paintbrush, and this helps you to clean up your dashboard. If you've created graphs and you want to clean them up, you click this down arrow. I'm going to show you how this works as we begin to work. So let's go ahead and get our data. I believe we all have the HR data. Let's bring that in. I'm going to click on Excel and I'm going to pick the HR data. I don't know where you stored your data before, but I picked mine from my desktop where I kept it and I brought it in. Let me know if I should go ahead. Just, I think the admin can moderate for us so that we're all on the same page. So when you click on get data and you click on Excel, it's going to bring all the tables in your file. These are all the tables, but I might not be bringing all of them in because I don't need all of them at this time. So I'm just going to select the few that I want.
There's a question.
Okay.
Somebody's asking, is transforming data carried out after analyzing data?
No, before. You need to transform your data before. You can see right here, transform data. Once you select, like, let's select employee, because we're going to be using employee data. You see this became activated. So when you click on it, you can now go to the data, as you can see right here, and then it's going to show you, I don't know if you're seeing this pop up, but I'm not transforming anything. This is the data. These are all the information. The way it is cleaned. I already cleaned them before I send them to you. So you're fine. I am not transforming anything here. I'm just going to close that and just upload. But you have to transform before analyzing, not after. Right. So I'm going to have to pick that data again. So Excel, HR data. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to select the tables we will be using because we don't need all of them. So I'm going to select employee 1. If you have it, click on it. I'm going to select department. If you see that, click on it. I'm going to select, and as you're clicking on it, it's giving you what exactly is inside that table. In this table, department table, we have just 2 columns. We have the department ID and the department, which is, with the ID is usually the primary key. It's also, we talked about primary key when we were running through SQL. The primary key is the unique identifier. So throughout this data, if you see anything deep department ID 1, that means it's talking about admin offices. If you see 2, executive office. If you see 3, that means IT and IS. So anytime you see the department ID or whatever ID, it's a primary key, it's a unique identifier that identifies that information we are looking for. So I said you should select employee 1. I did that. Pick department and pick education. And we're going to pick salary, employee salary. We might not be needing this, but let's just pick it. And then I'm going to pick pay type, and I'm going to pick position.
Hi, Mariam. I think there are 2 questions on our chat. One is, do we need to change any settings in Power BI while connecting to the database?
No,
Excel
you don't.
Okay. And the other one is, what do you mean by clean data, and what did you do to clean it?
Okay, so some of the data set, in fact, most of the data set you receive are not clean. They are not clean because some information might be missing. Maybe somebody wants to write department, the person write DEP, and the other one's carried full department. That means there's something wrong with that data. So you have to make sure that everything aligns. That means if you're trying to pull everything that has to do with department, the one that has DEP will be left out. That means information is incomplete, and that is data cleaning. You clean it. Sometimes the date format might be wrong, and when you're pulling information and you don't ensure that everything aligns, it's going to leave out the one that looks different from other ones. So most times you do your data cleaning on Excel. That's why I said Excel is always very powerful. As you can see from here too, Excel was number 1 from the data sources because it's very easy to pull. But then if you have more than 1 million rows that you want to pull out, then you have to go for databases like MySQL, any other big database to pull your data from. But if it's below 1 million rows, it's better you go for Excel. So cleaning or manipulating your data has to be done before you bring it here. Else, you're going to leave out some vital information while analyzing. and you will get inaccurate data. I hope that answers your question. So we pick department, education, employee salary, pay type, promotion, position, and then we're good. Then you click on load. It's going to load the tables, and that's what we're going to be working with today. Right now it's loading, and all right. So if you look towards your right, where we have fields, you will see all the tables that we imported into Power BI. I'm sorry, I'm so used to Tableau. You see all the information we brought into Power BI. And like I said, Power BI and Tableau, they do the same thing, so it's fine. So you're not missing anything.
Mariam, there's one really quick verification question, which is, some columns are null in my data. Is this supposed to happen?
Okay, what column is not in your data?
So let's see. Vivian, if you'd like to unmute and maybe share which columns are null in your Power BI, I'd like to invite you to share.
Oh, you want me to unshare, right?
Sorry. So this was a question from Vivian on the chat, and let me see if she's responded which columns.
Okay.
It looks like employee 1 is missing.
Okay, let her pick employee. She should pick, if she doesn't have employee 1, she should have employee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see. So she should have employee. If she doesn't have employee 1, they are the same. It's the same information in the data.
Right. So,
okay.
So I think they should be fine. There's no comments, or if there's anything else, I'll
let me know.
I'll let you know. Thank you, Mariam.
No problem. So we're going to be creating 5 different graphs to build our dashboard today. We're going to be creating employee by department. We're going to be creating employee by marital status. We're going to be creating employee by gender. We're going to be creating employee by pay type and employee by education. And then we're going to have a small box that has the total employee count. And when we are interacting with the dashboard, this data will change based on what we are looking at. Now, the important thing to note is that this is a very powerful tool that will help you get information in minutes. You cannot be picking information from these different tables at the same time. But Power BI enables you to pick information just at a glance. You're going to be seeing everything as you click. Just at one click, you will see all the information that you want, and everything will change. You will see that in minutes. The first thing we're going to do right now is to bring a text box right here. The text box is on top of your canvas. Click the text box sign, right? So I'm going to expand that and drag it up because I'm going to put the title there, right? So I'm going to write 2021 Human Resources Overview. So that's going to be the title. And I'm going to use this highlight to increase the font. So highlight that, the title, and then I'm going to give it 28. Let me take it to 32. And I'm going to centralize it, right? And I have that. I make it bold also. You can also change the font size. Let me see. Let me try and change the font size. Okay, so I change it to Arial Black, and then we have it right here. So I'm going to be dressing this up later for you to see. So let's try and change the background. Another thing with Power BI is.
Oh, Mariam, before changing background, there is one question from someone saying they picked the wrong tables. Are they able to change it immediately, or do they need to reload and select the new tables?
They can reload, just click on get data like this, just as I did earlier. Yeah, and then pick Excel again, load the data again, and then connect to it like so. I'm going to pick the data again, right? Because the more I pick the data, the more it adds new data. So that's why I'm saying 1, 2, 3, right? I'm picking it severally. So just make sure you know what you're looking for. You can just pick the information you want and add it to, your fields. Right.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
No problem. Okay, so we want to change. I'm going to take out this now because we don't need this one, this box right here.
Oh, Sergio here really quickly. So I think Marvin has his hand raised up. Marvin, I'd like to see if you'd like to unmute and ask a question.
Good afternoon, Ma.
Marvin, good afternoon.
Okay, please, Madam, can you repeat this particular section where you typed the 2021 human rights? Can you just repeat that, please? Where did you click to get the place you typed? Okay, thank you very much.
All right. So I just went to the tabs at the top of the canvas and I selected the text box. I double clicked it and it gave me that in the canvas. And then I expanded it, right, and reduced it. And I used the 3 dots to move it up, right. Then inside of it, then I typed using my keyboard. I typed what I want, the title I want to give it. And then after typing, I highlight and then bolden. And then I go to the font size. I increased it to 32. I centralize it. And then I change the font type. I went to change it to Area Black, as you can see right here. And then I got that. I'm gonna beautify this and you will see how that is done. So go to view to change the background. You can do that using the paintbrush, right? You see background here. You see the color is currently white and you can change it to any color you want. You can also bring in image right here, as you can see here. You can add your image. Maybe you want a particular image, or maybe you have a company's logo or something you just want to add. You can bring it in using this add image. If you click on this, it's going to bring in, ask you where you want to pick your image from. So I'm going to use the theme. Power BI has what is called themes. You can use themes to change your background, and that's so beautiful. I kind of like it. So if you click on view, these are the various themes you can get. You won't see the beauty of this now, but when we start working now, you will see that. So I'm going to take this one away because I don't need this one. So these are the different themes. You're not seeing anything now because we've not built what we want, but let me just pick this. And as we move ahead, you'll see how beautiful it's going to look. So we have that already. So I'm going to change the background of this one and click on that box. Once you click on the box, this format text box, whatever it is, maybe graph, anything, and you already clicked on the paint bucket, paintbrush right here. So click on that. It's going to bring this for you. And we don't need the title because we've already put the title. For the background, it is activated, it's on. So I'm going to click this down arrow. It's currently white, as you can see. And I'm going to change that color to something else. Right. And we see that. And right here, click on that same box again. This formatting box will pop up again. Highlight that title. I'm gonna change that color to white because it's currently black. So click on this font icon, the down arrow, and then I'm changing it to white, right? And then that is changed to white already. So if I go back to that box, remember we're still working on the title, we've not started building our dashboard. So you go back to the box, the text box right here, and then I want to give it borders, so I'm going to activate that. Click on that. It's currently black. I don't want it to be black. I want it to be white. So click on the color and then click on white. And then that is done. So you can close that. If I want to give it shadow, I'm going to activate shadow, go down, and I want it to have white shadow, not black. So I give it a white shadow. You see that? So this is already looking beautiful. You can reduce the box. You can reduce it and you can increase it. To drag it, make sure you drag from the 3 dots on top of the box right here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is to create employee by department, and we're going to be using bar chart. So go to the visualization pane right here, and you can see the name of the graphs if you hover on them. The first one is stacked bar chart. That's not what I want. The second one is stacked column charts. That's not what I want. And the third one is the cluster chart. Let's see that. Okay. I'm not sure I want the cluster chart, so I'm going to take that off. So I'm going to pick the column bar chart. That's what I want. So I selected the column bar chart, right? As you can see, please let me know if you have a question. So you have that right here, and I'm going to format them later. You can drag from the side or from the angle to increase or to reduce like so. And let's put data inside of this. So what we want to do, we want to find employee by department. How many employees are in each of the departments in this company? So I'm going to go to department, and I'm going to click on department and drag it, put it into axis, drop it there like so. And I'm going to go to department employee. Go to, if you have employee, pick employee. If you have employee one, pick it. It's the same information that we have in there. So I'm going to pick employee ID and put that in values. Drop it in values. Right. So I'm going to change this because it's not giving me what I want. Okay. Let's do that again. Put that in axis, department, and then we go to employee ID. Should give us the charts. Okay. We'll troubleshoot. Let's check employee 2. So I can take this off if I want to, because I have 2 of these. So let me take one of them off. I'm deleting that. I just clicked the 3 buttons beside it and I took it off. So let's try again, employee ID in values. Okay. Okay, we're just trying to troubleshoot because it should give us a graph. Let's see, the graph is not populating. So let's just keep troubleshooting. I'll take that away and put it back. We should have something like this in proper graph. So Go back to employee ID. It should be in values, and department should be in axis. It should give us a proper graph. Right. Okay, I got that. Let's see department ID. Okay. All right, so let's keep moving. I'm going to change that. Let's pick employee by marital status, and I'm going to be using funnel. This is funnel. I'm going to change that to funnel. So we pick marital status in axis. Let's see, did I pick that? Okay, so in axis, drop that in. Okay, all right. Let me take this away. Remove and bring this up. Right. So marital status in axis, it should be in axis, and data and employee ID values. So this is right, this is correct. So we have that. So I'm going to drill down, go to the paintbrush. Okay. I'll come back to change the title later. Let's build all the dashboards. So the next one, we're going to create employee by gender, and I'm going to use donut charts. This is the donut chart, and I'm going to add the values in that right now. So I pick employee by gender. So we go to gender. Please let me know if you have a question. We go to gender table. If we did not pick gender, I probably will go back to the data and pick gender. Okay, so let's go back and get the data. Pick data. HR training. So,
hey Mariam, Sarja here. There's one question from someone saying that they chose the wrong chart. How can they delete it?
Okay, I'll get back to that. Let me pick another table. Okay, let me just pick ethnicity. Just give me 1 second. I'm trying to pick gender. Okay. I'll get back to the person. Just give me 1 second. Okay. So if you choose the wrong table, click on that table, then go to the 3 dots on top of the table, click on that and remove it. Did you get that? That's how to delete it, the wrong chart. If you're bringing it back in, go back to the visualization pane and bring it in. So that's not what I want for that. This is what I want. If your cursor is still on that chart, it's going to change it. So you have to click out of it to bring in a new chart, like so. All right. So we go back to our chart. Let's pick employee by pay type. So go to employee, open it up, and then you go to pay type ID and put it right here. And then employee ID, put it in values. And then we have that. That's employee by pay type. Right. So the next one, we are going to pick employee by education, and we're using line graph. Let's use line graph. or something else. Oh, like I said, if you're still on that chart, it's going to change it. So click out of it and pick the chart you want. So we picked a new chart right now. I'm going to rearrange all of this. So we're just trying to pick all the charts first. So this is going to be employee by education. So we go to position, and then, no, sorry, we go to education right here. So education, put it on details, and then value, education ID, no, employee ID, right. Oh, well, I clicked the wrong one, sorry. So, okay, so I did the wrong thing. So be careful when you're building your dashboard. If you're still on that chart, it's going to just be changing your information. So this one was employee by gender. So we go to pay type, axis, and then employee ID. All right, values. And I changed that to this. So yeah, this is what we had here. So click out of it. If not, it's going to change that graph. We'll come back to clean it up. So I picked the line graph here. So I'm bringing it down, and I go to education and put education in axis right here. And I go to employee ID, put it on values, right? So it's flat. I don't know why it is flat. Okay, it should not be flat. It should give me graph. So let's troubleshoot. Okay.
Hi, Mariam. Sorry, Joy.
Yeah.
We have a question from Vivian, which is,
Okay.
what determines what goes into axis and values?
Okay, so your value is the numbers, the data, and the axis will be the legend, like what you're trying to, like narration of the value. If you come to this chart now, we put the type in the axis, which is showing you the narration of the number you're putting. The value is the number. The ID is always like a count, like numeric. So that is what is going to populate the data for you. If you put narration where you should put value, it will not populate anything. So it has to be, whatever goes into value has to be numbers. Like you're putting sales, and then in the axis, you're putting like location, you're putting sales manager, you're putting sales rep, you know, which is narration of the number. That's the difference. I hope that answered the question. So this one we are trying to populate. We are trying to populate education, employee by education. So under employee ID, we put that in values. And under education, we just pick education. I believe we have education right here. Put that in axis. So it should not be flat. It should actually not be flat. So we need to check what is wrong with our data. So, all right. So it looks like he's doing the same thing I did with the first one. Let's try and build the next one. Let's try the gender. Let's take this out. The gender was supposed to be donut chart. Let's do pie chart for gender. I'm going to take education out. And then this is gender. I put gender in the axis. And then I put employee ID in the values. And this is well populated. So let's try and build the other ones. And then we clean up this. This is still messy. We're going to clean this up. So let's look at marital status. And pick budget. Oh, sorry. Like I said, if you leave your cursor on that, it's going to change the graph. So let's go and pick budget. Right. We have a new one. right? Should not be flat. It should give you graph. So, okay, so let's go to marital status. That should be here. Put that in axis. And values, we put employee ID. It should not be flat, really. Good. So we have that created. It is not flat. So we have one more to do, and let's try the department again. So let's pick bar chart for that also. And let's see department, put that in axis, and then employee ID in values. Good. So we have all the charts plotted correctly. So we're going to be cleaning this up right now. So the last thing we want to do is to have a total, right? So we have this, this employee ID should give me department. Okay. So I'm taking this department ID off and I'm putting employee ID. Okay. So this should actually give me graph. The plots are correct, but it's not plotting properly. So we have to troubleshoot what is wrong. I should get this kind of graph for that, and I need to understand what is wrong with that data. So let me take that off and I'll go back and bring it back in. I'm removing that right now, and I'm deleting this, delete from model. So it's no longer in the model. Yes, delete. And then I go back to bring it back in. Somebody asked this question, you can bring it back in. I'm bringing it back in into the model, and I'll select it again. So department, I'm bringing that department back. So this is what I wanted to see, and it should give me graph actually. So I'm going to import it. So we have that back into the model. So let me go back and create the graph again. Right. This shouldn't take long. It's okay. So we have that. And I'm opening department up. If you see the department, it's showing numbers because I've imported several times. So that's why. So I bring it to axis. Department should be in axis. And then employee ID should be in values. Yes, this is what I was looking for. So sometimes when you're working with your data, it is software, it can misbehave. So always go back and do it over and over again until you get what you're looking for. Please just keep troubleshooting, and then you'll find the answer to your problem. So I take this up, and there's a particular one, education. Do I have education yet? Department, pay type, gender. Okay, marital status. Okay, so I have two marital statuses. So I'm going to change this one. Click on that, the second marital status, because we have two. We already have one here. So I'm going to change this one to line graph. Click outside of it. If not, it's going to highlight all of them. It is interactive, so that's why. Okay, then line graph. And then I'm going to change this. I'm going to put education. Go to education. I want to be sure we pick education, or else we go back. Okay, so this is education, put that in this axis. And so I'll take the education off. It's doing the same thing it did, so I'll go back to import it. So I'm going to delete from model, and I'll go back to bring it back into the model. So it's out. I'm taking the chart away, go back into get data. Right. Please let me know if you're lost anywhere. When you get stuck, go back and do it all over again. So I'm bringing education. So education, and I'm loading it back into the model. So we have education. So I go back, pick another graph. I want line graph. And then I go to education right here. I put education in the axis, and then I put employee ID in the values. This is what I was looking for. Like I said, if you're not sure it's giving you the right thing, remove it and load it again. So this is what I was looking for. Eventually, you're gonna get it. So we're cleaning up this right now, this sheet. Are we together? Do we have questions? Let me stop here and take questions before we go ahead.
Mariam, a question from Idioma, which is, how does one know the right visualization to use?
Okay, it's up to you. You can decide to use any type of charts that you want. Your boss will not give you the kind of chart he wants. He just wants to see the visualization and the dashboard. Sometimes if you have a dashboard that is not attractive, it will throw off your boss, and then you might get lashing for it. So I advise that you always use something that is appealing to you before you take it to your boss. So it's up to you, it's your call. You can use the arrow button on your keyboard to move it to the right or the left, as I am doing, the arrow key on your keyboard to move it, and make sure that it aligns. So right now we have the dashboard built just exactly as it is, or as it was in the presentation right here. I'm not sharing. Let me share this so you see. So this is the dashboard. Can you see? This is exactly what we just built. Can you see my screen? Yeah, this is what we just built. And I said we are going to build something like this. And this is exactly what we built. Okay, so there's one more thing. I'm going to unshare this and go back to the model. This is the model right here. I'm sharing this. Okay, so we're back here. I said we're going to build that exact thing, and that's what we did. So it's now left for us to be cleaning up right now. Okay, so to clean up, you go to the paintbrush. Let's start from the employee by department. Go to the paintbrush, and you see the x-axis on, y-axis on, and the zoom. I don't want the zoom, so I leave that. The data color, you can change it. Click on that. The data color, which is the graph color. The graph is the data. So it's in purple. We can decide to leave it that way because of the theme that we have chosen. Let me finish cleaning it, and then I will go back to the themes, and you can see different themes that you can use. The beauty of the theme is that it gives you very attractive visualization, and it clusters the colors together. So you don't have blue here, yellow here, brown here, everywhere. You just have a unique color that makes your dashboard very attractive. So you click that, and then go to data label. Let's activate that. We want to see the data, so we have the data label here, and then that's fine. And then we go to the next. Okay, we're not done. Let's go to the title or the caption of that particular one. So because I need to change. Okay, so the title, this is the title right here. So click on that. We want to change that to employee by department. So you can manually type that, employee by department. So that's fine. We just change that, as you can see, and we can decide to increase the fonts. Right. We can bring it to the center like this, and we can increase the font. Just keep scrolling. You can see, but the bigger the font, it's gonna shrink the graph for you, but that's fine. We gave it 22, so all of them will be 22. So that's okay. We can decide to give that a background if we want. Let's say you change the background to like gray. I don't want this, so I'm gonna keep it at white. So I want contrasting colors, so this is fine like this. So let's go to the second one, and we're gonna just change the title. Right, go to the title right here. Just scroll down as I am doing. Click on that, and you type employee by title. Sorry, by pay type. Okay, so we are done with that. We're going to increase the font to 22 also, and then we centralize it. And then we increase this to 22. Right. So we'll go to the next one. And I'm going to tell you why it's changing. That's the interactivity. Okay. Okay. You will know why it's changing, but let's edit everything. So go scroll down to title, open it up, and change the caption, employee by gender, employee by gender. And then we change the font to centralize and change the font size to 22. Good. So we go to the next one. We do the same thing, go to title. All these, you can change. You see, the color is purple, but we can change it. We're leaving it because we are using a theme. I want to take you to the view button tab right here where you see all the themes and you see how it's going to show up for you. And let's go to the title and then change this employee by marital status. And then we're good with that. We'll centralize it and change the fonts to 22. Consistency, right. And the last one, we go ahead and do the same. Scroll all the way down to title and then employee by education. All right. Please let me know if you have any question. You centralize.
Sorry, Jackie. I think Vivian has a question, and Vivian, I asked you to unmute, and you can ask the question.
Okay. Hi, Miriam.
Yes.
Thank you so much for this so far. So my question is, if you have a data that changes and you don't want to go in and be building all the time, is there a way you can have your setup just like this? And maybe when your data changes, you can go to the data source and update and refresh the part.
Yes.
Do you have to import, or do you just have to refresh? Or I don't know if something like that.
If it is database you're connected to, you can do that.
Okay.
But because this is Excel, you know, that's why those databases are a lot better than Excel. You know, there has to be something they are offering that Excel is not offering.
Oh,
just the way I was taking off when I saw that something was not right. I took it out. I went back, import back in. If you feel you want to correct anything, you correct on the Excel sheet and bring it back in.
Okay.
You can also correct it with transform data. But of course, you have to import first, correct, and then, you know, you cannot transform if you don't import. You have to import your data into the software and then click transform data And then you can make all the changes. I showed you how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can change it and then upload it back.
Okay, so that means that when you're working with like big data, it's always
Yes.
better to connect to database so that you don't have to be going back and forth.
Right.
Okay, great.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So we have this dashboard built, but there's something we did not do. So I'm gonna go ahead and then bring in, I want to have all I brought in this particular one, the card, and I'm gonna place the card inside here. So we see, so I'm gonna put employee ID into that. So we see that, and yes, so this is the count of employee. Right, so we can see from here, let me do some adjustments, go to the paint brush, and then I want to put border. I'm going to turn that on, and then yes, I put border on it, and I put shadow. As you can see, you can also put shadow on all of your charts. Go to the paint bucket or brush, and then click on shadow, activate that, and then go to the next one, click on shadow, and do that for all of them, just to beautify, your graph. I know one thing for sure, when you are showing your dashboard to the management, the way it looks has a way of catching their attention. When I was working in one of the big companies that I worked with in Nigeria, and I go to present, I used to attend weekly meeting with the senior managers and the MD and all the top executives, because I was a product manager. So they want to see my weekly report, and we used to do a dashboard, not as beautiful as this though, but we used to do presentation. The moment you see the MD pressing his phone when you're doing your presentation, you know that you are not doing something right. But when the guy looks up, he's a white guy, or he was a white guy. I don't know who they have now. So when he drops his phone, once you hear that sound, I know you all heard that sound. That's the way the meeting room used to sound. When the guy drops when he drops his phone and you hear that sound in a very quiet hall meeting room, then the guy is looking up. That means you've started doing something very interesting, and the guy will pause you. Hey, stop. So I'm just giving you an example of how they behave in the meeting room. When they don't ask you too much questions, then you are doing something that is not right. But when they begin to ask you questions, that means they are interested in what you're doing. And the first thing you need to catch their attention is to have a very beautiful looking dashboard. That is your talking point. So we've done this right now. So right now, let's see the interactivity. Let's see the interactivity. As it is now, this dashboard is ready. And then I'll use the next couple of minutes to take questions. Now, if you look at this now, compared to the numbers that we are seeing earlier, if you come here, okay, Vivian raised his hand, our hand, okay. So you will see the table, it's a law. If you click on that, you are seeing tables right here. You're seeing different tables. And with this, it's going to be kind of difficult to, I don't know, it's going to be very difficult to depict a lot of information from here. But when you come to your visualization, you're seeing something like this, compared to what you're seeing here. This is too much for somebody to take a decision at a glance. But when you have something like this, then you have something meaningful to show. So right now, the total employee in the company is 251. That's the total number of employees they have. Now, we can see that let's look at the employee by department. We see that the sales department has the highest number, which is 141, and then production has 40, IT 24, and so on. And we see that the sales department is the one driving this company. Let's say we have another data that has sales in it. let's say we create a new sales table, and we have that table in here. I wish we can quickly do that, but we have to create a table for all these sales guys. That means we'll create each cell for all of them. So maybe next time this is HR dashboard. If you're looking at the sales and marketing dashboard, we will see that kind of number, right? We will see that kind of number. But for this type of dashboard, human resource, they don't really do too much numbers, but this will give them an idea of what is happening in their company, that they have 251 number of employees and 141 sales, blah, blah, blah. Now, if you want to use this chart to look at other parameters that we have brought out here, out of this 141, how many of them are contract staff? How many of them are permanent staff? You can do that on this chart. How many of these 141 sales guys are male? How many of them are female? How many of them are married? How many of them are single? And what is the educational qualification of each of these sales guys? Let me show you how to do that in one click. It's going to be very difficult for you to do that with this. If you go to employee and you're trying to pick up, you start counting. This is a lot of work. Trust me, this is not smart work. If you come back to this dashboard, click on that. Click on that salespeople. When you click on that, you can easily tell that out of this 141 people, 35 of them are permanent staff and 106 are contract staff. So if you add 106 plus 35, you're going to get 141. How many of these 141 sales guys are male? How many of them are female? 69 of them are female, 72 are male. This is going to help the company plan with this information at a glance, just at one snap. And then how many of them are married? Maybe you're planning family, whatever, for married people to bring their kids. If you have another chart that has employee with children, with the number of children, this will help the HR department to plan for the company. Okay, we have so number of families with children. So if they want to see how many of these 141 sales guys have what kind of qualification, you could see. Let me go to this one and add data label to this one. Okay, let me go to the paintbrush and I'm going to click this open. So we can see this is the total. And if you come to this sales guys, you can see that 52 of them have a diploma, certificate 2, bachelor's degree, certificate 1, and master's degree. So if you go to another position, click on that position. How many of these people do we have? Production people, 40 people in the company. So out of these 40 people that we have, how many of these people are contract staff? You could see 29 permanent staff, contract staff, 11 permanent staff, 29. Gender, you can see that 16 of them are male and 24 are female. And you can see the number changing. So if you go to the next person, the numbers will change. So this will give you an idea just in a snap or at a snap like that. So if you go to employee by pay type and you click on this, so we have total of 108 of them. Sorry. Let me go back. So we come back to this graph right now. So we are back to 251. And you want to use this parameter to know other things about these employees. So how many of these people are permanent staff? They are 108, as you can see here. And out of this 108, 56% of them are male, 52 are female. 48 of them are male, 60 are female. And then you could see the numbers, their education. If you go to gender, click on that. We have total 103, employees right here that are male. If you click on the second one, 138 are female. So out of this female, how many of them are single? How many of them are married? What are the qualifications? If you add all these numbers together, you're going to get this number. So if you click back on the male, you see 113. If you click back on female, so 113, it breaks it down. If you add these two, you get 113. So out of this 113 that are male, how many of them are sales guys? 69 of them are in sales, 16 are in production, 6 are in IT, 9 people are in admin, executive officers, human resources, software engineers. So you see the number. If you add these numbers together, you're going to get 113. And the same goes for here. So this will help you use different parameters to know numbers, just at a glance. It's going to be a lot difficult to do that with something like this. Like this now, you can't see all those information. It's difficult. This is just highlighting all the departments. You can't see all of that. The pay type, you can't see all this. This is just, okay, we have what kind of pay type we have. We have contract and permanent. But with this kind of dashboard, you can see different things. Just click on what you want. You have this information with you. Just go ahead and you can pull out information, and your boss asks you, hi, Mimi, can you quickly give me how many females do we have in this company? Just click on that and we have 138, sir. Oh, that's so fast. How many males do we have? You can click on that, 113, sir. So go back to, how many people are married in this company? We want to even know how many people are married. Click on that, 138 people are married. Oh, out of them, how many of them have master's degree? You can see all of this. This is really very interactive. I don't know if you have any question, and this is where I draw the curtain today. Do we have any question? And one last thing, you can filter this. Okay, let's say I want to filter, click on this. I want to filter by gender. Click on this and go to filter. So the filter box is going to come up for you. And you want to know how many female, just like we did, you can see 69 female married, 69, sorry, okay, that might not be, let's say male, right? So it changes for you, see. And then you can, if you want to take that filter away, right? Just go back to the initial graph and click on that. So you have that graph back. You can click on any of the graphs and go to filter, and then you can filter. You can also click just the way I was clicking earlier. Okay, so you see permanent, you could see total permanent staff, right? And you could see total contract staff, right? You can see based on contract, you could see, okay, 82 of them are married, 61 single, diploma, 50 of them. If you want to see permanent staff, so that's it. If you want to take that, it will go back to the original graph. And then if you want to do that by department, click on it, go to filter right here. And then click on admin office. So this is all the information about admin office, all the information about admin office. So you could see a total number of people in admin office. You could see that admin has more permanent staff than contract. And if you go to gender, you could see the number, you could see, and then if you change that, go to executive office, you see that permanent staff only in executive office, and it has more male than female, and then only master's degree people are in executive office, as you can see. So if you have below master's degree, it's not very easy for you to get into that position. And if you go to human resources, you can see that human resources only have master's degree and bachelor's degree alone. And only how many of them? Just 9 of them are in human resources. And you can see that they have more permanent staff than contract staff and more female than male. If you go to production, I believe that you have more male, right? Oh, you have more female there than male. So you could filter. And then if you want to go back, this will help you have a quick look at your information. You can see only one single person in software engineering, and we have a lot of permanent staff more permanent staff than contract staff. So if you want to go back to the original, just go back to the original graph like this, and then that's it. Questions, questions, questions. And you can also share this. You can share this by going to File, and you can save this on your computer. It's asking me where to save it. And yes, you can choose where you want to export to, and you can decide to do PDF, or you can use PowerPoint, Power BI template, and you can also publish it if you want to. That's going to be online. You want to publish to a database for other people to view and interact with. And if you want to save it on your desktop or anywhere, so that's where to share.
Oh, great. Thank you so much, Mariam. Yeah, you just answered my question right now.
Oh, how to share it.
Yeah, because this is powerful, right? And I intend to apply this to my data. My boss, he likes this kind of thing. Yes. I'm sure he'll be like, I want to say it. So my question was, the question I wanted to ask is, if he wants to see it and I don't have to do like a screenshot, is there a way for me to publish it that he can see it online? But you just answered it now.
Yes, you can publish it. So it needs to have this access to this software.
Yeah.
So that when it logs in, it will see your work.
So maybe that will be when we have to pay for the.
Yes, the $10 per month. Yes, that's for Microsoft.
Oh, I see. Sorry, one more thing. The last time you made mention of your handle on Instagram, but I couldn't find it. Do you mind dropping it in the chat box?
Yeah,
I would love to follow you.
At MS Mimi Official. MS Mimi Official. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, so this is a very powerful dashboard that says a lot in few seconds. And companies can easily take decisions just looking at this dashboard. They can be on this dashboard for 30 minutes, 1 hour, taking decision based on this. And you have done your work. I told you guys before, I have a couple of friends that spent a lot of money to get master's degree. Guess what they do? The only thing they do with the company is building this kind of dashboard for the company. And some of them are in IT, some of them are in sales, some of them are in marketing, some are in HR. Some are in whatever department, right? You can, if you work in hospitality also, you can also use this. How many people made reservation yesterday? How many people left? How many rooms do we have left? You can use this to get a lot of information. Just one dashboard we give. I mean, every company is going Power BI Tableau, Power BI Tableau. In fact, I told you the last time that a friend of mine was working on companies that one of the biggest companies in the US, trust me. The only thing she does is Power BI. And what she does every morning, she goes there, just like that Vivian asked, she just go to the database and it's already there populating. She pulls the information because the new information is already there. She pulls it, build a dashboard, and she sends it. Our work is done. That's just what she does. Another one works in HR. That's what they do.